All right, good evening, everyone. And how is your day today, or how was your day today? Well, we certainly hope that you had a great day, great Monday, and obviously looking forward for the weekend. It's a long weekend, I guess, celebrating Christmas, and then of course looking forward for another weekend next week, whereby we will be saying goodbye to 2021 and then welcome 2022. It has been a challenging year for, I believe, all of us, be it whether we are in a working situation or in businesses, self-employed. Very challenging for every one of us, I guess, for the last 2 years during this pandemic. And right now, we believe, we all, I'm very sure, believe that it's already an endemic, and we are starting to accept that this is part of our lives. The world is totally different. We have to move on and embrace this new world of ours. And we cannot expect that the world will go back to what it used to be. Okay, so henceforth, let's cheer each other up, spread love, share whatever we can with our loved ones. And I still believe that we are here in Singapore very fortunate, as we see a lot of natural disasters happening in our neighboring countries. We do really feel for them, and we pray that they continue to be blessed. Stay strong, and then hopefully get through these trying times together. And as far as we're concerned, let's extend our helping hand to our brothers and sisters, whether they are in Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, or wherever they are. And if we really can afford, please do donate generously for their cause, as we face tough times. But tough situations will always change. definitely, and hoping for the better. Of course, as human beings, we only will have faith and hope, because hope is what gets us going in our daily lives, right? So today, again, we'll be talking about get out of your rat race, or get out of our rat races in our lives. And we just want to share, or I like to share on some probably very important and very valuable tips that I encountered in my life, from some mentors, friends who have actually shared with me, and I believe this is a good sharing for us, especially at A3Vest, to put this forth for people, family, friends out there, so that each and every one of us can truly benefit from whatever sharings that we have, that can actually be very beneficial to our lives. But first and foremost, I love to invite you, all the good people out there, please like and share this Facebook Live, especially if you know that you can win a chance or multiple chances of winning USDT $100 during our Christmas giveaway that's happening this Friday on the 24th of December 2021. It's on the eve of Christmas, whereby we will be picking one lucky winner to win himself or herself a 100 USDT. All you need to do is just like and share every Facebook Live that we have had for the past 3 to 4 weeks or so. And then we are left with only about 3 more Facebook Lives that's going to happen, like one now, and then tomorrow night, followed by Thursday, whereby we have our crypto night, as well as our preview for those of you who would like to find out more about our A3Vest Foundation course. All right, so all you need to do is just like and share the Facebook Live, and then you win yourself a one chance. Or if you are a new A3Vester, you have 5 chances for the first time, followed by one chance every now and then that you like and share our Facebook Live. It's simple as that, and then you will probably walk away with our USDT 100. All right, so what we're talking about tonight is get out of rat race. Last week, I did mention during my walk that you need to have plans, and you need to put forth what kind of targets or goals that you need to achieve in your lives, and only you know best whether these are achievable targets, or whether whatever you put forth in your plans are definitely something that you can carry out. That's very important, because there's no point of us planning anything at all if we know that we are really not capable of meeting our targets, or not capable of meeting our objectives. So the small steps taken to work towards our bigger goals will determine whether you and I will stay happy, will be very happy in our lives, in what we do for ourselves, as well as for our loved ones, and also for our company or our business that we are in particularly, and in anything that we do, right? So very important is to set goals, targets, and put action plans, act upon it, and look at the results, or whether it's favorable, whether it's working or not, and then look at other things that we can do to improve what we have done. So this is part of A3Vest objectives, whereby we want to put forth for others, especially you out there, our A3Vesters, our learners, because A3Vest is a learning center that provides you and teaches you, share with you, guide you on how you can benefit on various financial platforms, specifically in cryptocurrency trading, and also specifically in the financial literacy, because we believe that acquiring knowledge will only assist you to acquire better aptitude, or a different level of aptitude, in order for you to upskill your altitude. So these are the 3 A's that we strongly believe in the values of what A3Vest Pte Ltd can do for you and can provide you with the various roadmap. Now, let me just get this. Okay, you can see here, I hope you can see, this is what the rat race cycle is all about, right? So do you see yourself facing this financial struggle? Well, obviously, we are not here to pinpoint to you that this is what most of you are going through, or all of you are going through, but we strongly believe that most of us are definitely in this situation whereby we look at the cycle of rat races in our lives, right? So you work hard for money, all right, which is top of the chain, and then what happens is you get income, your hard and earned money, and then you pay your bills because that's part of your responsibilities, right? So obviously you would have also a certain lifestyle that you do, and however you live your lifestyle, I think no one can tell you or to do otherwise. And then after that, you talk about probably not enough savings, right? Living beyond the income that we have every day or every month of our lives because of the work that we do. And then getting back into issues like debts, loans, credit cards and loans and stuff like that. So this is a typical diagram or typical lifestyle that what you and I probably, right, go through in our lives. So how do we get out of this rat race cycle? Well, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So if your interest is to actually get out of your rat race through better finances, you need to put an investment of your time, your efforts, and probably some money into acquiring knowledge of in terms of financial investments, in terms of financial literacies, because only with knowledge you will get the best interest for yourself, best interest in terms of growing your savings, growing your finances, and then ultimately putting you out from the rat races of your lives. Or for instance, in my case, I need to have the best knowledge of financial literacies for me to get myself out of my rat race in my life. So I totally agree, and we here at A3Vest totally have this philosophy that we want to help, we want to assist, we want to share with you the knowledge that we have acquired over many years of experiences in various financial sectors to allow you to grow and to allow you to acquire that particular knowledge for you to give yourself an opportunity to get out from the rat races of your lives. Now, again, I mentioned earlier on that some mentors and friends actually recommended and shared with me this very, very powerful book called The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? So maybe some of you have read it, maybe some of you have heard it, probably lots of you have not even understood or read this book. Anyone else out here probably have heard this sound advice as a gateway to your best life growing up. I'm sure each and every one of us would have probably heard this, whether from our parents or whether from our relatives, our aunts, our uncles, or anyone that we know in our lives, saying that, hey, go to school, get good grades, stay out of trouble, and you'll get a good job. Now, I'm sure, as mentioned, like, all of us probably would have heard this. But then has anyone else noticed that despite doing everything that we have done or that what we were told to do, especially us millennials, not so much of me, yes, but probably more of the millennials out there, not millionaires yet, and probably not jet setting to the not necessarily south of France, but anywhere in the world twice a year, especially now. Of course, the last 2 years we can't jet set to anywhere. All right, but before the COVID, Were we jet setting? Were we enjoying our lives? Getting ourselves out of our financial situation into financial freedom. To be very honest, I guess not all of us or were lucky to do so, or not all of us were making it. All right. So what happens is because of these fundamentals, right? The six ethics of life. Um, Before you pray, you need to believe, right? So how strong have you believed in yourself? How strong have you believed in the particular system that's happening in your life? The systems, in life, we need to place systems in our lives to ensure things work for ourselves and work for the particular situation. All right. So before we speak, have we listened? Clearly, some of us probably hear, but do we listen? And then before we spend, have we earned, right? Have we earned enough to begin to be spending more when we are not earning much? And before you write, think how often we always think before we say something, or how often do we always put our thoughts in the best situation before we write something or we hurt someone. I guess I'm as guilty as whatever is being mentioned here, because you and I, we are just human beings. We sometimes do things that we feel it's good for us, but probably not beneficial to our loved ones. However, we learn, right? Experiences in life will teach us the kinds of ethics that we will pass on to generations and generations to come, right? So before you quit, have you even tried? And then there's the levels of trying, whether it's level 1 or level 7 of trying, or how hard have we tried. So these are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And then before we die, have we even really lived, right? So give it a thought. I strongly feel that this ethics of life should be our fundamentals, in any situation that we have, or in any situation that we put ourselves into, to allow us any chance of living life to the maximum capacity and to all possibilities. All right. So please let us just try. All right. And then we also talk about lesson 1 in the book. If you have read it, right, in the book, The Truth of the Average Worker, right? Many people are overworked and underpaid in a job that they do not enjoy for years on end. To add insult to injury, the average worker is taxed. I mean, obviously, right? So their income and can never seem to get ahead, no matter how much they get paid or how much overtime they work. I think this is very true in not just in the Singapore context, but in any other country or in any other situation whereby you are the average worker. However, like I said, there are plans for you and I to choose the kind of lives that we want to live, that we believe we can live. And because of the vast opportunities of technologies nowadays, there are abundance of possibilities. Have we ever wondered or even tried to seek these opportunities? Well, only you and I can answer that ourselves, right? So this is lesson number 1 that you can actually learn from reading this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And it is a very powerful book that will open up your minds and horizons on what are the opportunities, and start to see things differently from perspectives of making it better in life. And then lesson 2 that you can acquire from this book is actually 2 emotions that control our money. Only 2. One is fear, and the other one is greed, right? The fear of not having a job, the fear of losing our job, and then from that fear, we kind of like go into the mode or the emotions of greed, where we start to spend more. We do things or spend things that we do not need, and no matter how much money one makes, these two emotions will automatically, or most times, uh, be the driving force of the things that we do in our lives, right? So the two emotions that keep us in this proverbial rat race of greed and fear, right? The fear of not having money to survive put us in fear mode, right? But when we finally find a job and start getting paid, greed takes over, and then we start to imagine all the things that we can buy. So most of the time, we overspend on things because psychologically, we know we can make more money at our job, whether you put more effort, more overtime and things like that. And then the cycle has just begun, time for money, time for money, rat race, no matter how much you get paid at your jobs, and fear rule of your habits or our habits and how behaviors. So this is where we need to watch out on these two emotions very much, because no one else will tell you, no one else will ultimately share with you that these things are the one that's bringing you down or bringing us down, right? So we have to be aware of our own emotions, and we have to be in control of our emotions. So these two emotions that particularly is being highlighted very much in the book, it's fear and greed. Then the financial statement that, of course, lesson 3 that we can get from reading this book of Rich Dad and Poor Dad is the average working person lacks financial literacy. That's exactly what we mean here at A3Vest, because most times we don't think acquiring knowledge in financial literacy is important, right? But then money seems to be like the root of a lot of problems in this world, because with insufficient money or with insufficient wealth, we put ourselves again and again into a lot of other issues. And however, so we try to get ourselves out from these issues, we kind of like get back to the same issues again and again, right? So because we weren't taught in school, simply as that, we were not taught in school. In the book, Kiyosaki breaks down how the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. Sorry, the poor stay poor, right? And in essence, the rich use the extra money from their working income to buy assets, such as small businesses, crypto, stocks, and real estate to build a passive income. So it teaches us on how we can acquire assets, even with that particular amount of money that we have, that particular savings that we have, how else we can work the savings of ours, make them work harder for us, right? So by buying assets, right? And passive income is money that comes into your account whether you're physically there or not. Most times the rich have to work to build the asset, so the income exceeds their expenses. But they tend to reinvest the money into things that put more money in their pockets. So this is a philosophy that most of the rich people or wealthy communities have have been practicing over generations. But unfortunately, the average person spends their extra income on liabilities such as car, clothing, dinner, or expensive vacations and extra. They don't put money in their pockets, but rather they take money from them, which makes the average person go back to work for years and years because their money never works for them, and they therefore will have to work for it. So this is the financial statement that you and I will be able to learn when we pick up and we read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I am not promoting, or we're not here to promote Robert Kiyosaki's book, but then because we love to share what's good and what's best for you and I, and especially for our learners, as they pick up, a thing or two while going through the foundation course that we have here at A3Vest. This is what you will see in the book as part of the cash flow. You can see here it's literally like, you know, when you play Monopoly. So this is how to get out of the rat race, and then you have all the facts, you know, and figures that will show you on how you can create a path that you can get yourself out of the rat race. Okay, so please, if you have not, go and grab the book. You know, read it up, or probably you know nowadays with Google, you can just Google and get tips on how you can start small steps in improving your daily actions, and perhaps get yourselves out of the rat race within a specific time period. Probably, you know, you look at within 3 years to 5 years, or a shorter time span of 6 months to a year, kind of thing. And obviously, we always believe that the quality of life is very important as well, and then the quantity of efforts that you put in will ultimately create the kind of frequency uh, of actions that will determine your success rates in life. And obviously, what we're talking here is about financial literacies. You know, the quality of knowledge plus the quantity of vast financial platforms, and also the frequency of how you trade, or of how you invest your particular savings in these financial platforms will determine your financial freedom, and also success is certainly guaranteed. The time is now. It's never yesterday, and it will never be tomorrow, because tomorrow will never come, may not come, and yesterday is gone. It's history. So we have to make a choice in our life, and that choice has to be now. And we strongly believe that, you know, for you and I to get out of our rat race, we have to make the choice now. All right. So we wish you the very best of success in making the small steps again to achieve the bigger goals in your lives. And you definitely can do it. We can do it. All right. So here's the important part, whereby, you know, not really important for you to change, but then the important part of what we like you to achieve is to like and share our Facebook Live. And then from here, you can win yourself a USDT 100 during our lucky draw giveaway this Friday, 24th of November, Christmas Eve. And then you have two more chances, obviously, to share our Facebook Live, which is tomorrow night, happening at 8:30 p.m. And also on Thursday, whereby we have our crypto night preview of the foundation course at 8 p.m. Right? So these 3 days, which is today, tomorrow, and Thursday, are your last chances of acquiring a chance or multiple chances of you winning a USDT 100. So once again, on behalf of A3Vest, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for liking and sharing our Facebook Live. We thank you so much for your support, especially to our A3Vesters who have been with us for the past 9 months. Going through our foundation course, and of course, you know, making their own trades and earning themselves very recommendable profits of 20% and above monthly. You know, well done. And slowly you're getting there. In fact, some of you have actually overachieved because you have been making more profits. And of course, you have over achieved in this a short period of time, because you continue to trade. And then the more you trade, the more you become experienced, and the more you don't fear yourself trading. And then the more you put yourself, getting nearer and nearer to your financial freedom. So this is what we believe that we will be sharing, teaching, and guiding you, especially people out there who are non-A3Vesters or have not signed up with us yet. Please, send your queries, DM us, PM us at our Facebook, and do like and share our Facebook. All right. So till we'll see you again tomorrow to talk about cryptocurrency, to talk a little bit more about what are the tokens, some of the best tokens that's happening right now. Yes, market is on the downturn, but hey, what goes down will come up, and what's up will go down somehow or another. And cryptocurrency is here to stay. And then we talk about more digital world as digital currencies, talking about NFTs, metaverse, and all these digital world that's happening and going to stay here for many, 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 many years to come. All right. So we'll see you not next week, but we'll see you tomorrow night. On behalf of A3Vest, we'd like to wish you a great evening. Take care of yourselves, take care of your health, and then have a great night. Bye.